Hey guys, it's Tuesday, January 22nd, day 5022 since diagnosis. I had a really incredible day yesterday. I actually wrote about it on Facebook, put a big post out there. After my workout, I stopped at my old police department to catch up with my old coworkers, and by chance, my buddy Rich was there. Now, Rich was the guy that was at, he just got on the department. He used to be a mailman. He was a mailman in the area that we got involved in our first shooting together, and he was only on the job about 6 months. He was there, and then my old patrolman I was with, not with the same car, but was with same shift, Oz. He's now a detective, and my field training officer, Dave Naro, at the time in 1998, is now the chief. He was all there too. So they were all asking me how I'm doing, and this and that, and I told them what's going on because currently I'm on about the seventh week of this pill called Imbruvica. I'm on 840 milligrams a day, and I really got hit last week with these horrible mouth sores that I had 14 years ago when all this shit first started, and I swear I'd never have them again. But the only other addition was my addition to cannabis oil, and it was I had no mouth sores. And by the way, that's mucous membrane. So you got the mouth sores, the nose sores, and the number two hole is like shit and razor blades. So none of that. And unfortunately, as luck would have it, the Imbruvica that I'm on has a clash with cannabis. They run on the uh, same enzyme. Similar, it was explained to me similar to when certain meds interact poorly or negatively with grapefruit. Same type of interaction. So I had to stop the cannabis because it could build up a toxicity in my kidneys, my heart, or my brain that's irreversible, and I wouldn't even know it until it's too late. So I cut the cannabis out, and I got hit with these mouth sores bad. But what really blows me away is if mouth sores is a known fungal infection, very common for patients taking Imbruvica or patients prepping for stem cell transplant, why the hell would my team not have what all these members on these support cancer groups on Facebook are stating? Magic mouthwash. Make sure you get magic mouthwash. Well, that's not over the counter. You got to get a script for it. Why, I have no idea, but you got to get a script. So Monday, last week Monday, I called asking for a script on uh, the portal, the Cleveland Clinic MyChart portal. And normally they're Johnny on the spot. They get right back to me. And Tuesday went by, no contact. All day Monday, all day Tuesday. By Wednesday, what happened Wednesday? No, Thursday, we get a response and we're told to go to the urgent care. So now it's called on Monday. Now it's Thursday. My mouth is on fire, and now it's going down my throat. And the my chart portal message states, plain as day, go to the urgent care, have them confirm or not if it's fungal, and maybe they can write you a script. So we go to the urgent care, and I'm not over exaggerating. This nurse practitioner must have read my medical history and wanted literally hands off. Like, she came in and saw me, and I was like a leper. This is my impression. Oh, I can't do that. Hands up. I can't do that. That's psychology. I can't. I said, you can't even look in my mouth. Well, I can look. I said, can you swab it? Well, we can swab it, but we won't get the results for a couple days. I said, well, what do you recommend? I can't. That's oncology. I said, you've got a cancer infusion center right around the corner. You mean to tell me not one cancer patient has ever come in here asking for this magic mouthwash that everybody seems to know about? Even my doctors know about it. They sent this message for you to write the script. Oh, I can't have them do that. So that was disappointing to say the least. So by the grace of God, the next morning I had a dentist appointment to get a panoramic this throat from the damn infection, the fungal infection. uh, I had to get a panoramic X-ray of my mouth to see if there's no cracks or any deep hidden damage that the dentist couldn't see from a visual. So while he was there, I asked him if he thought it was a fungus, and he said yes, it was. So I showed him the message, and he said, "Why didn't your doctor order it?" And I got in this loop runaround. So long story short, basically short of begging this man to write the script, he called a periodontist, and the periodontist said, "Yes, it's a order this magic mouthwash." So my normal pharmacy, Giant Eagle, Snow Road, Parma, they didn't have it. And I said, well, you got a 25, 50-mile radius? She goes, it's all the way out to Pennsylvania. So Liz was able to find that the CVS right down the road from us had it. And we go there, and the guy compounded it for me, and it said take 5 to 10 milliliters a day. Swish and spit or swish and swallow. Actually, the directions said swish and spit, but it was going down my throat, so we had to we were asking for an answer, and nobody could give us an answer. So through our own research online on the internet, we were able to find out yes, you can swish and swallow. So I did it, and I'm not going to say the relief was instant, but it was a hell of a lot better than it was. And my mouth is a lot better now. There's not many sores at all, but now it's in my throat, and I'll get like this. It's really bizarre to explain. It's like a poker goes right in my throat, like that right there, and it cuts off my air, and it cuts off my speaking, and then it's bizarre. So back to the police department. So I'm in there, and I asked the chief, my old FTO field training officer, if I could have a word with him in his office. So go in his office. I said, "Hey Dave," I said, "I really want to thank you for believing in me in '98 when I got hired." I said, I know that you know my reputation and the crew that I ran with, and I just appreciate you for number one being my FTO and teaching me a lot of stuff. But when I got involved in that shooting with Rich, you were the first boss on the scene, and you did everything in your power to reaffirm me that I did nothing wrong. Rich did nothing wrong. Well, Rich didn't shoot, I shot. And he was awesome. And I said, Rich was pretty shaken up, and I looked like I was handling it okay. I said, but that was scary as shit. He goes, you're damn right it was. He said, but I knew from your training, your first week of training, we had a call down at PM's, which is a local strip joint, of an irate male in a parking lot. So Mike Ruffner, older cop, is working part-time down there. We had a great gig down there. You watch the parking lot, make sure nobody's doing drugs or screwing in the parking lot or stealing vehicles or breaking into vehicles. And then if they had some assholes inside, they'd call you on the radio and they'd say, could you walk around and make sure these assholes know there's a cop on scene? and it was that's basically how I saved up to buy this house. Um, so we get down there, and there's this dude who's got muscles in his shit. He is put together, and he's going ballistic. And I know Rufters, he's got a short temper, so I see this really getting ugly quick. And Dave tells the story to me yesterday. He said, because I was your FTO, I was observing you, and I watched you, and you calmly took your glasses off and set them on the hood of the car. And as soon as that happened, not 2 seconds later, this guy shoved Ruffner on his ass, and you took him right to the ground, and you hooked him up. He said, I tell that story to every rookie after you, how you had the situational awareness to see it unfolding and know it was going bad, and you had to act, and you acted immediately. And I came back that day and talked to the chief and said, Berger's ready. He showed me he's ready. And you were a great cop, and I also apologized for leaving and going next door to Independence. And he said, no, you made the right choice. He said that was everything was better up there for you. So I don't blame you one bit. Actually, I was happy for you. I was sad to see you leave. And then on Facebook, I made this post, and I got now these unbelievable memories. So, John Hooper grew up all through middle school, high school, year behind me, actually with Liz, and we took fire tests together, and actually Hooper took, he had part-time Valley View, he had his medics certificate, he had his EMT certificate, and I don't know, maybe it was just those three, maybe something else. I had nothing. We both took Maple Heights' fire test. We both scored identical, but because he had all those extra credit points, I was 76th on the list. He was number 4. So he got hired in Maple, and then now he left Maple, and now he's full-time Valley View. So I'd see him on stops, and if anybody had known for their parties, it was John Hooper. There's no doubt about that. And I definitely made my presence. Oh God, I got off a midnight shift one night, and he had a party, and it went all night and all morning. And I got off at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I went right there. I got out of my uniform. I jumped in a hot tub, and they had this Harry Buffalo with grain alcohol, and it tastes just like Kool-Aid. And I start guzzling it like the drunk that I was, and I'm in this hot tub in my underwear, and then I saw a cop car go by, and I go running down the street in my underwear, and I see the guy that I share a car with and my desk with, who's a pretty straight-laced guy, and I grab him in through the window, and I go, why don't you go? Oh, I don't even know what I said. I was going crazy. And he goes, Jay, what are you doing? You're in your underwear. And I took off running back to the house, to the party. And I didn't even know what happened after that. But anyways, so Hooper writes today. I was on many of calls with you, different side of the badge, but I have seen your demeanor and street smarts, common sense in action. Many stories are still talked about. I am honored to have worked with you, decompressed with you on our time off shift. I only lived in the area of the mean streets of Valley View you speak of, but I would hope I was considered in the mix. We drank some beers on my patio and broke bread Ramito's Pizza with great friends. Life was good. Thanks for the trip down Brickyard Road. And I said, I'm making videos of the chronicle of my life stories, I'll be sending you a permission slip to allow your name to be revealed. And then Liz's sister Geraldine Novi says, "Oh my heavens, OMH, never saw it before. I believe every part of this story of your courage. I know you well personally and in loving conversation with your other half to feel the truth be told in this reflection of you." And my mom's longtime girlfriend Jane Calandra says, "Jason, what a wonderful story. Thanks for sharing." Glenn Dugas, my old lieutenant. Uh, he was actually, so I'll get back to that. You were one of the great ones. Was very disappointed to see you leave, but understood why you chose to. Always were a professional, considerate, and focused cop and individual. So, Glenn was the lieutenant, and he says, "Hey, Berger, I need you to go with me down into Cleveland on, I don't know, somewhere down in Cleveland, right? I can't get it. Anyways, I said, "What's going on?" He says, "We got to go serve a warrant. We had an armed robbery up on Barley Hill. The guy stuck a gun up to this woman's head at a party and stole her purse." So we get down there, and it was me and Glenn, and we had called the Cleveland Strike Force to help us hit the house. And I knew a couple of those guys because my buddy, he was my best man at my wedding. I was his best man at his wedding. Scott Zankwitz, he's now a federal agent working for the NSA, and he went to the academy with a lot of these guys, and I used to hang out with him quite a bit down in the flats years ago. And that's when I met Hesh Sagafi, which he probably doesn't even remember, but he used to bounce down in the flats, and we'd stay in those bars quite a bit. And nonetheless, shit, down the flats, Zank. What the hell was I just talking about? There's your chemo brain kicking in. Holy shit. Glenn Dugas. Oh yeah, Dugas. So I knew those a lot of the guys that were on the task force, the violent felon task force, and they set up the perimeter. And we knock on the front door, and this white trash hillbilly broad comes to the door in her beat up robe. She's skinny, crazy. This looks like a total crackhead. She's got her skinny arms and skinny hands, and the 3-inch cigarette ash hanging off of it, Medusa hair. And she goes, "What do you want?" So we're looking for Johnny Douchebag. Is he here? He's in the bedroom. So here's our warrant. So we come in, and there's this ungodly, the most vile rap music you've ever want to hear coming from the bedroom. So I knock on the bedroom door, and I hear this punk ass kid go, "Fuck off, ma!" So knock, knock, knock. I said, "Fuck off, ma!" Knock, knock, knock. And he swings the door open, ding dong, right back to the ground, and his buddy, they were playing video games, and as soon as I came through with that kid, the strike force came in through the windows and hooked the other guy up. So they had a single mattress on the floor, and there's no shame in that. I actually had that growing up too, but what I didn't do was randomly just piss all over it. The whole thing was saturated in urine. So I get my gloves on, and we're looking for this very distinct stainless steel revolver. And I tell the kid, I go, "Hey, dude, I said, I'm the hound dog on this department. If it's in that room, I'm going to sniff it out. Fuck you, he says. Okay, so I'm looking, and I find a little Polaroid with this jagoff with his shirt up, holding that gun we're looking for, and he's got the tattoo that says Thug Life on his chest. So when you're looking for a suspect, SMT, scars, marks, and tattoos, and they're on their criminal record. So you can't hide a tattoo, you can't hide a scar or a birthmark. So I go up to him, he's cuffed, and I lift his shirt up and I see the Thug Life on it, and I give him the Polaroid in his face. I said, whatever I said. So when we're coming back home with the kid, because we're not in the valley, we can't hear what's going on. And this was the night with that we're getting back in town, and my direct sergeant, Sergeant March, I hear him broken up on the radio again because the reception's horrible when you're in Cleveland, and he's asking if Bolton's okay. Somebody go check on him up at Marymount. What the hell's going on? So we get back to the station, and Lieutenant Dugas takes the guy in the back room to interview him, and I go, "What's going on, guys?" And they go, "Well, Bolton was on a traffic stop into Brooklyn Heights on Granger Road, and he got dragged down the road, and the guy's fleeing. So we got his residence comes back to Independence, and these other officers up there right now checking that house out. So we're waiting on them to come back." So then they come back and they say they throw him out of the house. He's living on Stickney Avenue now. So Rich says, "That was my neighborhood. That was my route when I was a mailman." Well, Matt March, my sergeant, was a really a great guy, good sergeant. But I know he wasn't. He was more hands off. Let's just let somebody else do it. And I didn't want to do that. That's definitely the safer way, and I get it. He's at the end of his career. He doesn't want to go screw it up. So I know Glenn, again, a great guy, but I know he can be easily distracted. And I know he was interviewing this guy, and I know he had rank because he was lieutenant on my sergeant. So I went over my sergeant's head, and I went into the interview room, and I go, "Hey, LT." He goes, "What's up?" I said, "Do you mind if I take an unmarked and Rich go look for this guy that dragged Bolton?" He's like, "Yeah, go ahead." So I come out of there, and I got the game face, and I got a pretty good pace going down the hallway, and Matt stops me. He goes, "What are you doing? Where are you going? I don't like the look on your face." I said, "Lieutenant gave me permission to go with Rich, because he knows that area, and go look for this guy." He goes, "Okay, be careful." So we took the unmarked, and we went to Memphis Avenue. And I said, "Let's pull in here." And Rich says, "No, go down to Dina's. You can go around the building. There's a horseshoe drive that goes around the building." So we're looking for a 1996 Chevy Cavalier, tan in color, beige in color. So it's a Thursday evening, about 9 o'clock, and it's January, so it's cold, and people are walking down, going to the bar, and next to, so the there's a knee wall here, and the let me see my hands here. So there's a knee wall here, and this here is Dina's. This here is a convenience store, and the cars come in at an angle here. So we pull in, And here's this car backing out on an angle, and Rich goes, "There's the car." Sure as shit, it's the car we're looking for. Got the license plate, everything. So I nose in on him, and we get out, we draw down on him, and I see him go into center console. He pulls out what looked like a hand cannon and gets out of the car, and he puts it right to his head. And he goes, "Get the fuck away, get the fuck away." And I'm screaming, drop the weapon, drop the. Rich is screaming, drop the weapon, drop the weapon. There were two on-duty Cleveland, because this is Cleveland, two on-duty Cleveland officers in Dina's, because it's a restaurant, eating dinner. And they see it, and they come out. Well, they were also on the lookout for this car too, or they had known about the bolo to be on the lookout because their Cleveland Strike Force was on that last call with us. So so they come out and they got on the radio and they get the chopper up in the air, and then the guy takes the gun from here to here. He never ever came at us with this, so that's why he didn't get shot. So then there's people driving in the driveway, like right there, right where we're at, and they're getting out of the car because we're in our dark winter police uniforms, and all you see is a little patch, and if you're lucky, you can see the badge. So all you see is guys in black. So, or I don't know what they saw, but they were definitely shocked when they came walking up, and we're screaming at this guy to get on the ground. They see the guns, then they take off running. So this guy pulls up in this maroon older minivan, and I remember this like it was yesterday. So we've all heard of the fight or flight response. There's a third F called freeze, and this guy froze. He pulls up in his minivan. He opens up the door. Thursday night, gonna go get his whatever, his boons from him. And I got the gun on this guy, and I look at that guy. I go, "Shut the door! Get out of here!" And I'm behind my door on my cruiser, and this guy goes, "You have your door open. Why can't he have his door open?" Get on the ground! So then he gets back in his Cavalier and starts ramming. And he wiggles his way out. And I don't know what to do. What are you going to do? Because they ram down your throat from the very first day of your academy and through all your field training and all your other school trainings, tactical shooting schools, street survival schools, all of which I loved, but they ram down your throat. If you get in a shooting, the city's not going to cover your ass. So you better be damn sure. And that's why you see so many cops getting shot and killed, because they're so afraid of getting sued. And when I got hurt in '98, my phrase to people was, "I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. There's no way I'm not going home at the end of my shift. No way in hell." "Yeah, I'm on a traffic stop." "Sir, why is your gun out?" "Don't worry about it. Keep your hands where I can see them, and there's no reason anybody's going to get shot. You start getting jumpy, acting stupid, I will put a bullet in you. No doubt about it. So don't get stupid. And you want to complain? Go ahead. I am going home to my bed and my family. So so he gets out, and Rich. So there's all these cars on slants, and Rich in front. He's running in front of them, and the guy's going around the building. So T.J. Hooker over here, Ding Dong, I'm gonna hit him off with the pass. That's a little Blazing Saddles reference for you movie buffs. So my other passions, movie quotes. I do a few impressions, and I do a few karaoke impression songs. AC/DC, Guns N' Roses. Uh, Nonetheless, I got the throat issue with the damn fungal infection, so no impressions or songs. No serenades tonight. So I go to head him off at the pass, and there I am pointing at him, and this guy mashes the gas. Now, granted, it's a four-cylinder Chevy Cavalier, but you hear that zing zing, you know those little gerbils are running. So I dive out of the way, and he keeps on going, and I come up, and it's these damn Valley View. They issued a Sig Sauer 45 caliber, which is it's a good gun, but I would have rather had a larger capacity 40 caliber or even a larger capacity 45. There's only 7 in the magazine, 1 in the pipe. It goes from double action to single action. That first double action pull is like some ungodly pressure, and then it goes down to a very light pressure. So unless you cock that damn thing back, you're going to throw that first round, which I did. I was going for the front tire, and I put it through the fender, and then I settled, and I hit that second tire. So now we're off to the races, and as luck would have it, it starts to hail, light misting hail, and I'm driving, and we're getting on it pretty good, and now the roads are really getting slick because it's January, it's cold out, and we're talking on the radio. We're switching back and forth from our channel, which is all broken up, to Ohio Learn, so we could talk to the chopper, because the chopper's got him in sight. He's like, hey, I got him, guys. He's going home. He's going back to Stickney. So there was one. So Valley View, Brooklyn Heights, and Cog Heights all dispatch out of Cog Heights. We're all on the same band, and it's 3 little village area, and they all go to Cog Heights school systems, and that's where me and Liz grew up, and it's a nice little town, except for their toxic landfills, which is I'm and many others are victims of. But that's a whole other video. So we start flying down 25th Pearl Road, and there's 2 lanes that turn left, and I'm seeing a bunch of flashers way in the distance, and we're getting in an intersection, and I'm slowing down, and Rich goes, there they are. So I turn the wheel, and we get smashed by another car, and we're like, what the fuck? And it's the same crew that was the task force that hit the houses earlier today, and they're showing us our badge, and we're showing it. So then we start going, and then we get in this train of slow speed pursuit back to this Stickney Avenue house. Well, we had already been there before, so I wasn't going to wait in traffic. So I went down to the next street south of Stickney, which is called Germain, which is a brick road, and I hit that turn, that corner, and we get sideways, and Rich is holding on. I'm like, I got it. He goes, man, I got a wife, I got 6 kids, so slow it down, Jay. So we get to the next stop sign, make a right, get to Stickney, and I had to wait in a parade of Cleveland cruisers. Go. So we get out, and then and we're running up, and there's all these cops around him, and he's got the gun at his chin, and he's got his back up against an old-time car with the big, heavy-duty, thick steel bumpers on it. And he this self-proclaimed super cop in Cleveland. He does have a very impressive career, but he's not really well received by many. But I don't think he really gives a shit. Um, they say he gives his own mother a ticket. His name is Simone, and I mean he's been shot quite a few times. He's impressive. So he runs up foolishly runs up and tries to pepper spray the guy in the face, and the guy turns a gun on him, and Cleveland just melted him. And so I go back to I see if Rich is okay. He's like, yeah, we're okay. So we're walking back to the cruiser, which is quite a few houses away, and these two women come out of their house, and they go, Rich, you're a cop? He's like, yeah, I'm a cop. Yeah. And I go, who's that? He's like, I used to be their mailman. So that was kind of cool. So I go to get back to my cruiser, go to open up the door. I cannot open up the door. It's smashed. But my adrenaline when I went to open the door was off the charts. So I go around the passenger seat, open it up, get on the radio, and I call out 7308 936 936 is dispatch. And I hear this guy, Joe, who's a Coggites cop. But before he was a cop, he was a dispatcher, and he just so happened to be in a area, a high spot, whatever it was, that he could hear me clear as a bell, and nobody else could. So he was my dispatcher, and I'd call it in, and he'd radio to the other guys, and I said, this is the address, such and such, Stickney Avenue. I said, 16 to myself are okay. That's Rich's badge number. I said, one officer down from Cleveland. Oh, I'm sorry. So Simone goes down, and they're like, he's shot. Well, later came out that the guy's gun was empty. They call it suicide by a cop, but they believe it was a ricochet off of that bumper, and it caught him in the bulletproof vest. So it wasn't fatal. But I'm told from guys that have gotten shot through those vests that it's very painful. So he made it, and then we went back to Cleveland and had to give statements, and they were just, I mean, top notch. They treated us. Oh, I'm sorry. So then Dave Naro shows up, my old field training officer, the one that spoke so highly about me yesterday, which is really, it was touching. And he was really just so calming to me and reassuring to me that don't worry, you did nothing wrong. Said, how many bullets you shoot? I said 2. He said, do not let anybody take your gun except for the investigating officer. Unless they're not that person, do not let them take it. So I remember that for my second shooting, which I had a guy that wanted it, that had no business asking for it. So I was newly married. Oh, was I married? I think I was. No, I wasn't. I was not. I was engaged, but I was living with Jen, and I called her and I said, hey, if you see the news tonight, I said, just know I'm okay, and I'll be home tonight or tomorrow morning. And I don't think it was anything that crazy, but everybody seems to think that was so traumatic. I don't think it is at all. I don't think it's. I wouldn't even call it a shooting. I would say I discharged my weapon. And same with the second one. I didn't get shot at, but then again, I almost got ran over. But I had no business standing in front of the guy. Yeah, it came out later that the guy had no bullets in the gun, and he just wanted. So what really came out bizarre was, this was all after the fact. So a former Brooklyn Heights officer, Lou, was friends with a bartender that worked at Dina's. And he calls up Lou and says, "Did you guys just have one of your officers get injured or killed?" And he said, "Well, not killed, but a Valley View officer was in our city and got dragged by some guy, and we can't find him." He said, "There's a guy here that just ordered 11 shots, and he was hammered when he came in, and he banged him down." And I said, 11 shots? A rough night? And he said, "I just killed a Brooklyn Heights officer. So I'm calling to see what the hell happened." So when we were going out there, this phone call was taking place. So that's when he got in his car to leave. So then after the Stickney Avenue and we go back to Cleveland, like I said, they just treated us really, really awesome. And I really appreciated they've got guys, a team of professional report writers. So the guy asked me, "Tell me your story." And I give him the story. And then he says, "So let me get this straight." And he'd say a sentence. He goes, "Is that correct?" I'd say, "Yeah." And he'd type it. And he'd say another sentence. And he did it the whole way through the story. He said, "Read this over, proofread it. Read it. Does it look good?" I said, he goes, "Now sign it. That's your report." And that was great because you're really in no condition after something like that because your adrenaline's off the charts. And then that gun was later found out it was a 357 Magnum Python that was stolen. Where the hell was it stolen from? I can't recall off the top of my head. So that was Glenn Dugas and my lieutenant. And then Bill Pelka is a Valley View firefighter, and his wife unfortunately has breast cancer, and he commented on my post as well, which which I'm going to read here shortly. Bill Pelko. Both departments and cities miss you. Most importantly, you are still with all of us. It was a pleasure showing up on calls that you responded to prior to us. When I when the squad or fire department would get a call for whatever address, I knew I could get there faster, so I could spot the house for them, and that way they weren't hunting for an address. And then I would try to run in and get if I would try to get their age, their name, their date of birth, any allergies, any meds they're on, and then try to have that ready for the squad when they get there. And it made it a smoother, faster, more efficient call. So he said, it was a pleasure showing up on calls that you responded to prior to us. One of my favorites, we responded to the Sally Port to, quote, check on an injured person, unquote. Pull around back, no one there. Then you pull around the corner into the Sally Port. You get out, muddy shoes, slightly dirty pants, open the back door, kindly help out the law-abiding citizen. He is covered in mud, head to toe. Take the cuffs off for us to check him out. You tell him, quote, You try running again, and I'll light you up like the 4th of July, end quote. Laugh out loud. Dude's like, quote, run, question mark. Think my ankle's broke, yo. God bless you. And then that sparked a memory where we had a call of some little toy rat dog, nasty little thing, and we we had a pretty redneck hillbilly upbringing. We had chickens, we had these coonhounds, these field trial dogs. We'd go frogging, gigging frogs, set turtle lines, of course, hunt and fish. I was not much of a fisherman, but hunted a lot, and where was I going with that story? Come on, dude. Oh, so I I I knew dogs pretty well. My brother and my dad were really into. I just want to be with my dirt bikes and my 4 wheelers and 3 wheelers and off road stuff. But nonetheless, I got, whether I wanted to or not, I was good with dogs, and I knew with some dogs, if they were not an alpha, you could charge them and they'll just roll over on their back. And there's this dog is barking whatever, and I, guys, I got this. And I tell them, if you charge them, they'll go down. They'll surrender. So I'm going to show my blazing speed, and now mind you, I'm in boots, my vest, my long pants, my shirt, and my duty belt, and I go tearing after this little piece of shit dog, and it was not rolling over on its back, and it takes off like a jackrabbit. So I'm going downhill, so I got pretty good speed, so I'm gonna catch this damn thing, and it goes through these shrubs, and I plow through the shrubs. This dog is gone, and I turn around, and the fire department guys were pissing themselves, laughing their asses off. But the two most funniest days of uh, my career. I need standby.